Hey there. Okay, after 15 years in Houston real estate, I'm finally ready to share my story. It's a vulnerable one, but I think that my goal is to really make an impact on others, show you that we are all starting from somewhere, we all come from somewhere, and we're capable of anything. So it's about time. Let me share my screen with you and show you kind of where I came from. So this is my box. This is where I lived in high school. Yeah, believe it or not, it was, I felt like it looked a little bit better than this, but it was a commercial building, four walls, concrete floor, old roof. My rest of my family lived in this trailer house, which was too small for us. So I lived in this box, and at the time, I felt like I was so proud of it. Like it was my box. I owned it. I didn't really own it. And if you knew me in high school, we just had our 20-year high school reunion, which was a blast from the past. If you knew me in high school, you have probably been to my box. I was so proud of it. It only had a sink and a toilet. It did not have a shower, so functionality was not there. And I wanted to show y'all, it is commercial. It is on a highway. It is across from a funeral home, y'all. But yeah, that is where I lived. So I wanted to share that with you just to show that when you see me in my fancy, fabulous life now, we all start from somewhere. And I think that that's incredible that we get to have that story and own it and then make an impact on others. I grew up with a single mom. She worked harder than anyone I've ever met. She still works harder than anyone that I know. She's brilliant. If you know her, she's in land development now, and all three of our children have three subdivisions named after them, which is actually really, really incredible. I started working when I was 13 at my grandmother's restaurant in Mineola, Texas, East Texas, the tiniest, tiniest town you could imagine. And I started there when I was 13, and I worked there throughout college. So every single weekend, every summer, every holiday, Mother's Day, Christmas, you named it, we were open and we were working together as a family. And if you haven't been in the restaurant business, you should try it out. It will give you grit. It'll give you tenacity. Yeah, we are very hard workers. And then even when I went to college, I would drive back every single weekend and work there, even if it was a 3 or 4 hour drive. When I moved to Houston, my first year in real estate, I would still drive 3.5 hours every single weekend. And so I knew at the end of that first year, I was, being successful. I think I had closed 13 houses my first year. I was able to buy back my time and then just get to visit family for fun to visit and not work in the restaurant. So that restaurant was my foundation. It taught me about responsibility, how to serve others, how to work in complicated situations and deal with difficult people. And yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I came to Houston. I didn't have a lot. I had a weekend job that I had to travel to. I didn't really know what abundance looked like. Now Jeff and I always talk about abundance mindsets and not having a scarcity mindset. And I didn't know what that looked like. I remember when I went to the bank, I opened up my first bank account, and the banker said, do you want to have a savings account? And I kind of looked at him like, what is that? And he said, oh, it's a second bank account for when you have extra money that you're not spending that month, you can put it away in a different account. And I was truly mind blown. I think it was 23, yeah, before I knew what a savings account was. And it just blew my mind to think that people had extra money that they didn't need that month, that they didn't have to spend, that they could set aside somewhere else. And so, yeah, I didn't really know what wealth was. I didn't know what stability was. I know by the time I was 21, I had moved 19 times. 19 times. And that was just a normal for me. And so my big goal for everyone here, especially in Houston, real estate is so incredible, is to be able to build, a legacy. If you know me and Jeff, we have team legacy, we have legacy premier title, we have legacy preferred lending. We're building out these huge legacy brands, and our whole idea is to have roots and to not have to move 19 times. Um, so important to me. So going back to, getting into real estate, growing 10 years ago, through a random phone call and God's vision, I joined eXp Realty. And I really didn't know that it was going to change the trajectory of my life, but suddenly I was surrounded by people who just thought differently. They didn't talk about, paying bills. They talked about ownership and leadership and freedom and impact and so many things that were such a larger scale than I had ever really wrapped my head around before. They they had an abundance mindset. They didn't just teach me about real estate, they showed me what was possible. And they pushed me into leadership. I really didn't want to be into leadership. I didn't think I was capable. I didn't think people needed to listen to me. I didn't know what I didn't know. They pulled me out of my comfort zone, and slowly I started to build not only my business, but my identity. And now, I'm sitting in the same home that I've had for 5.5 years as of next month. And that doesn't seem like a long time, but 5.5 years is the longest time I've ever lived in a home ever in my entire life. And I'm almost 40 years old. And for me, that means so much. That means that my kids got to start kindergarten here. They are now going into middle school here. They have roots, they have friends, they have stability, and they have something I never really had growing up. They didn't have to move 19 times. They know what a savings account is. They know what investments are. They know what abundance mindset is. They can travel and they can make friends and not have to worry about having to move in a couple of years. Real estate gave me that. Houston gave me that. God gave me that because this industry, I didn't know that getting into it, but it's not just about houses. It's about homes. It's about hope. It's about breaking cycles. And it's about building something bigger than who we really are. The opportunity, especially in Houston, but in real estate in general, I think it's such a blessing to be an entrepreneur. Now I have six businesses. Some of them are 6 and 7 figure businesses. I have three beautiful children that I'm able to stay at home with. I can go to their events if they have a choir event or a sporting event or they've got some kind of thing for school. I can say yes to all of those. And I'm able to mentor other business owners and teach them how to do the same, to buy back their time, to have their weekends back, to say, maybe I can't meet that client at night. Maybe I have quality time and I'm cooking dinner with my family and I'm able to give my kids, the ability to travel and to talk about investments and giving back and abundance and to dream without fear because they're able to see that anything is possible. So when you see me on the internet and I'm interviewing people and I'm doing, hosting coffee and collaboration, this is why I do what I do. This is why I started Coffee and Collaboration. This is why I started Real Estate in Black and White. This is why I'm constantly creating spaces for others to learn, grow, and believe because it's really not about me anymore. I'm able to have this platform and hopefully give it to others. And that's really my passion this year and next year moving forward is really helping as many entrepreneurs and realtors as possible because I want to help them find their foundation and I want to teach them that you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to begin and you need to have that support. And, I know what it's like to not have people believe in me. I know what it's like to not believe in myself, but I also know what it's like to have people believe in me and say, hey, it's possible and you can do this and this is how you do it and here's my playbook. So for the realtors who don't own a home yet, I see you. I was you. And we work so hard helping everyone else find their dream homes, but we forget to build our own. And that ends here. That ends now because we deserve the freedom, we deserve the opportunity, and we deserve to build that legacy. And that is what Jeff and I are so passionate about. So I'm just here to show you my box that I really was proud of. I had no idea how poor I was. And I'm still proud of it. But don't let your past define your future. Don't be embarrassed of where you are, where you're starting, what you failed, or what you messed up on, because God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste your pain, your struggle, and He's going to use your story to help make an impact on someone else. So just know that I'm a firm believer on God doesn't bring you into real estate to fail. He brought you here to serve, to help others, and to make an impact. And I really want to be a part of that story if I can help you in any way at all. So if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to build something that really lasts, if this speaks to you, if you're tired of just chasing success and doing things that just don't fill your soul, they just don't fit within your comfort zone or your box or your passion or your vision, I want to help you get in those right rooms. If you're in my group, I don't mind even personally sponsoring you and mentoring you and helping you have that vision. But yeah, this is me full circle from box to building a legacy, from instability to peace, and from scarcity to abundance. And it is possible for everyone who's watching this video. So if I can share my video and my story and help just one person and give them hope, then every move, every mile, and every moment was worth it. So challenge also, if you've already built a legacy, I would love for you to reach down and help 10 other people. And once you get them up and going, help 10 more and continue that legacy because I think that together we are going to win. Stay strong, Houston. We're just now getting started. I cannot wait to build something big and beautiful with you. Thank you for letting me share my story and reach out to me. I would love to collaborate with you and help you build something of your own. Talk to you soon.